What's up guys, hope you are doing well, and welcome back. A woman will expect a man to sacrifice his happiness and dreams for her, the relationship, and the children. But that same woman will not hesitate a second, and she will easily sacrifice the man, the relationship, and the children, for her own happiness.
I need to say this, let me just say it straight out the way. I am no longer married, and I'm divorced. This is not what this video is about, but there's something that you guys need to know. When I met this woman, and I told her about my Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, she hated it, she didn't like it. She said that, hey, you can do something better with your life. You should go back to school. So you know what I did back in 2016, 17, 16? I said, you know what? Maybe she's right. And you know what I did? I sold all my equipment. I sold my YouTube channel. I sold all my camera stuff. I was like, you know what? Maybe it is time to move on. Maybe it's time for me to do something better with my life. Not knowing that at that time, what I had was very special. At that time, something that I chose to do, YouTube, I had something going on. Even though I had some drama and stuff going on before and I shut down my channel a few times, I had something that I completely gave up.
He told her what he was into and she hated it. That was his clue to bounce, but he stayed. She showed him that she didn't care about his happiness and that she did not care about his battles, but he still entertained her. Not only did he entertain her, he killed his dream and happiness for her. That's on him. And the most, let's just say pathetic thing is that, he decided to sacrifice things for her, but, what did she sacrifice for him? I get that when men love they want the best for their loved ones, but, bro, what are you getting in return? What is she bringing in your life? By the looks of it, that woman wanted a retirement plan, but since she had no options, she settled for him, and unfortunately, he was not where she wanted him to be. So, she decided to shame and guilt him into becoming the man that she wanted.
I gave it up because someone said, hey, you know what? Maybe it is time to move on. You gotta do something better with your life. There's gotta be something more for your life. And I sold all my stuff for a woman. And she's no longer here. And this problem persists. She told me at that time, hey, you wanna meet my mother? You need a car. Because I didn't have a car at the time. I was doing YouTube. I was working from home. I didn't need to drive anywhere. Yes, YouTube is what I did for a living. It's how I paid my bills. And I was street performing also. How did I street perform? I just catch the bus 20 minutes down the street, played my horn, went home. I never needed a car. But when I met this woman, you have to go back to school. You have to exercise. You have to get your degree. You have to do something better with your life. Even though I explained to her, this is what I chose to do. A woman comes in your life and try to tell you the plan that you chose for your life is wrong.
Conservatives love to say that men need women because women civilize men, and that women push men to make more money. But in reality, what they are preaching is meant to shame men into being in the same pathetic state as them. When they say that women civilize men, what they are actually saying is that you should subjugate yourself and become what she wants to be. And when they say that women push men into making more money, the reality is that women shame, guilt, and nag men into making more money so that they can spend more money. And let nobody lie to you, that's the reality of most of the conservatives who are preaching marriage to men in 2024, they are miserable, and they are looking for company. From where I'm seeing it, the woman he dealt with had a chip on her shoulder, she had something to prove, but since she couldn't get a man who was already up there, she did her best to find a workhorse who will take her up there. Men are practical beings. If something is not directly useful to me, I don't see the need of having it. I'm not saying that men should not aspire for more, what I'm saying is that you should not sacrifice your mental health and sanity for someone who will never do the same for you. But again, at the end of the day, life is a choice.
And out of love, I choose to say, you know what? Maybe she's right. And I took a chance. I took a chance. I said, you know what? I'm gonna give this up completely. Like, for good. Sold the channel to Jobber. Sold all my stuff. Tried to go back to school multiple times. There's some, I don't want to say that I can't finish school, but it certainly feels like I can't. I don't know what it is. And every time I talk to people, they just think that everything I say is just an excuse. You are a grown man. You are an adult. You can do it. It's like no one can see it from my perspective. It's like I am always wrong.
Of course he was always wrong, he is a man after all. And in a world structured to cater to women, men are always wrong. F your perspective, F your happiness, F what you really want to do, as long as what you do as a man is not aligned with the female experience, you are wrong.
When I study, what I do? I fall asleep. What do they say? Hey, you're lazy, you're procrastinating, you're choosing not to do this. And I'm like, that's gotta be something wrong with me. When it comes to school, studying, and staying on task and staying focused, I just can't do it. And I try, and I go back to school, and I pay all this money, and I pay all this money, and I pay all this money, and I fail, and I fail, and I fail, and I fail. Music has always been there for me, and I've always been great at it. People say that, hey, they try to test me. They say, hey, you know music, right? You know this person? No. You know this person? No. You know this person? No. Well, how are you a musician? I also get people say to me, hey, what key is this in? I say, I don't know. Like, they say, well, how are you a musician? How do you play so well? I am not the type of person who is book smart or knowledgeable. I don't know things, but I know how to do things. I know how to do things physically in a creative way. I'm not the type of person who retains things and hold on to things, who can read a book and then take a test, pass it, and go on. That's not me. I am a creative-minded person. Anything that involves creativity, I can do, at least to some degree, where people are like, wow, you do it so well. You ever thought about going to school? No, I tried. It doesn't work. So, this is all tying together. I met the parents. They asked me, hey, what do you do for a living? I had to tell them I am a musician. I couldn't tell them I was a street musician. I am a musician. Then they said, hey, you have a degree? I said, I don't have a degree. My ex-wife's parents did not speak to me for 2 years.
At this point, those parents should marry their own daughters. For the morons at the back, I am not saying that a parent should just accept their daughters to marry any man. What I am saying is that, if the parents are not the archetype of the men that they want their daughters to marry, then they should not ask it to the men.
And told her not to marry me because I don't have a degree. What sense does that make? So I give up this YouTube thing. I give up my entrepreneurial thing. I try to do something that's not innately a part of my strengths at all because I'm thinking I'm in love to do something for somebody to prove something. And this continues on through the marriage. She says, hey, you need to find a hobby. I'm like, oh, let me play Yu-Gi-Oh again. So, last December, last year, I start my channel up again. I buy my channel back from Java. Like, oh, she gave me the okay to go into a hobby. You know what she said? You're spending too much time playing those cards. It's either the cards or me. She literally said that. I'm like, you just said I need a hobby, I get into a hobby, and now you said I'm doing it too much. What is it? What do I do? She says, why are you into those cards so much? I said, hey, I need to make a video about something. And I haven't played this card game for 2 years, on and off. How can I make a video for my subscribers about something I have no knowledge of? And I try to explain it to her, but she don't get it. She thinks it's just cards you pick up and you just play, like Uno. It's not that way. Every 3 months, a new set come out, new stuff come out. I can't make a video about something if I don't know what it's about. I can't start my channel back up and just start making videos. I have to be in it. I have to learn about it and learn what's going on.
When she told him to get a hobby, what she meant was that he should get a hobby that ups her status, a hobby that makes her look good and better than the rest of her pack of hyenas, group of friends.
So, she hated those cards. She literally cried because of those cards. And people say, hey, priorities, man, it's your wife, or, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. But then I'll be back at that point where I'm giving up things that I like, things that's a part of my life for someone else to feel happy. And I feel miserable in the process. I'm sitting there watching all these YouTubers come out and make videos and do all this stuff, they're traveling. I'm like, that's what I used to do. I love that, I miss that. Why can't she come along with my journey instead of scrutinizing me? And then that's money gone from me. It's not about the money, but that was money gone from me. then street performing. I said to her, hey, I don't want to move away from Baltimore. You might be thinking, why? That's where my home base is. My gigs, my performances, everything. Keep in mind, I didn't have a job. Like, when I say I don't have a job, like a real job. A real job is, going in 9 to 5. I didn't have a real job for over 10 years. It was YouTube and playing my horn. That's how I paid all my bills. So when we got married and we moved out to Baltimore to somewhere else I didn't want to be, she said, hey, how come you're not paying the bill? And I was like, what? I have a job. I have a 9 to 5 job. I don't make enough from this 9 to 5 job to pay all these bills. Before then, I could street performing in YouTube. I made enough money off of that to pay the bills. Now I'm working 9 to 5 all day long, and that's not a complaint because there are people who do that. But I had something that most people wish they had. Most people wish they can go out, make some money, pay their bills, and have all day off. That was a gift. That was something that I had. Now, you can take this video as me complaining, crying, I messed up. It is all of that. It is true. I am complaining. I am hurt. I made some mistakes. I did some dumb things. And you're right. It is my fault. I chose to sell my channel. I chose to give up this thing, not realizing that, you know what? This is my YouTube channel. This is my life. You can't come into my life and dictate to me and tell me what's better for me because you don't see it from my perspective.
Most of us, especially in the space, are baffled about what modern women do. But here's the thing, women haven't changed. It is men who have changed, and men's inner change is reflected in the physical world. Men build, men reform, men create, good or bad, men create, men give voices to the voiceless, rights to the oppressed, men give protection to those who can't protect themselves, men move forward towards a specific ideal. And unfortunately, that march forward has led us here. Not to say that we shouldn't advance, because stagnation brings about poison, but unfortunately, the hard work, dedication, and sacrifices of our forefathers has resulted to the creation of an environment where female toxicity is allowed to thrive. I have said it before and I will say it again because it is the truth. There's absolutely nothing that women do that is not enabled by men. Women are still the same, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. No matter the race, age, education, and upbringing, women are still the same. They have the same thought process, the same fears, the same needs, the same insecurities, the same MO, shame, guilt, insults, passive aggressiveness, and playing the victim. And most importantly, they all have an incessant need to rule over men. And the only way women can rule over men is if men subjugate themselves and place women over men. Of course, not all women, there is always the righteous 1%. An old-timer once told me that women's greatest achievement was convincing men that they are not men's enemy. But the older I grow, I'm starting to think that he was right, because there is absolutely nothing that women do that goes against what he said. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.